Purgatory is a cold, windswept desert, and but for a single ancient tree, it is barren and featureless. Beneath the withered, ash-white branches of this tree, in this shadowy realm between heaven and hell, where a minute lasts a day lasts a year, and a year lasts forever, two unquiet souls wait and wait and wait. Their names are Jake and Eddie, and they are sitting on deck chairs.
Right, here's one. Are you listening?
I'm listening.
If you had to have sex with one particular species of animal in the whole world, which one would you choose?
Why would I want to have sex with an animal?
Because you just have to.
Why do I have to?
It's a matter of life and death.
How come it's a matter of life and death?
Because somebody's got a gun pointed at you.
Who?
Doesn't matter who, just somebody.
Just somebody? You gotta come up with something better than that. There has to be a backstory to all this. You're asking me to have sex with an animal, for fuck's sake.
Okay, it's the Russian mafia, right?
Okay.
They've employed you as the middleman in a big cocaine smuggling deal with a South American drugs cartel.
Right.
And the Russian mafia, right, have given you a suitcase stuffed with US dollars to give to the South Americans in exchange for the cocaine. But then, on the route to Bogota, you've done a bunk and you've scampered back to the UK. And then you've stuck all the dosh in a Swiss bank account. And then you've gone into hiding. But then the Russian mafia, right, have caught up with you, and then they've given you this ultimatum. Either you have sex with an animal of any species in the world, it's your choice, or they're going to kill you. If you have sex with the animal, then your life will be spared. So name the animal.
Okay, couple of problems. The main one being, your story doesn't make any fucking sense. I double-crossed the Russian mafia, and then for some totally bizarre and inexplicable reason only known to themselves, rather than prioritise getting their money back, they forced me at gunpoint to have sex with an animal. It's a complete non sequitur. Where's the logic? Where is it? Where's the fucking logic?
Alright, point taken. I didn't really think that one through. Okay, right, I'll try again. Let's see. Oh, right, I've got it. You're an English Premiership footballer.
What team do I play for?
One of the big ones. You're the star striker and your team's challenging for the league. And the owner of the club, who's this billionaire Arab oil sheikh, catches you having it half with his missus.
What's her name?
What? Come on, what's her name?
Oh, right,
her name, I'm thinking, Fatima.
Fatima, right.
Right, so this billionaire Arab oil sheikh, right, catches you having it half with his missus, Fatima.
Where?
Where?
Where does he catch me having it half with his missus?
At the football ground, right, in the boardroom.
When?
When? At half-time, right? It's half-time at the biggest match of the season, the league decider against Manchester United, and the billionaire Arab oil sheikh and the other directors of the club walk into the boardroom for some half-time refreshments and discover you and
the Manchester United directors there as well.
Why would they be there?
It's etiquette. The directors of the home team always invite the directors of the away team to the boardroom for a cup of tea at half-time.
Yes, they're there.
Sir Bobby Charlton, Malcolm Glazer?
Yes.
Sir Alex Ferguson?
Yes! Sir Bobby Charlton, Malcolm Glazer, Sir Alex Ferguson, they're all there. And they all walk in the door to find you and oh, for Christ's sake, what's her name again? Fatima, right? On top of the boardroom table, going at it hammer and tongs.
Hang on. What the hell am I doing in the boardroom at half-time?
What do you mean? I've just told you that you're going at it hammer and tongs with Fatima.
Shouldn't I be in the dressing room listening to the manager's half-time team talk? I am, after all, the star striker.
You're no fit to play, right? You're carrying an injury.
There's obviously no groin injury.
So anyway, at the end of the game...
What was the score?
10-0, right? You beat Man United 10-0.
Now you're just being silly.
You win 2-1. Your team scores the winner with the last kick of the ball 4 minutes into injury time. The fans, the players and the manager are all going mental. They're over the moon because they won the league. But the billionaire Arab oil sheikh isn't too happy, for obvious reasons. So a couple of his henchmen knock you out and bundle you into the back of his limousine. And then they drive you to the billionaire Arab oil sheikh's big house in the country. When you come to, you're strapped to a chair and the billionaire Arab oil sheikh's got a gun pointed at your head. He then gives you the same ultimatum the Russian mafia gave you. Either you have sex with an animal of any species in the world, it's your choice, or he's going to kill you, cause you've humiliated him by having sex with his missus in front of all his pals, and the directors of Manchester United. He's going to humiliate you by forcing you to have sex with an animal. See? Is that enough
fucking logic for you. So name the animal. Okay, couple of problems. Oh, for fuck's sake. Mainly, why don't I just string him along, play for time, rip the pish, and say that the only animal I'm prepared to have sex with is some, I don't know, rare giant guinea pig that only inhabits deepest, darkest Borneo? What's this billionaire Arab oil shit going to do then? Is he going to fly us out to deepest, darkest Borneo in his personal Learjet, and are we then going to go traipsing about in the jungle undergrowth trying to track down this rare giant guinea pig? He's got his own private zoo, and it's got every species of animal on Earth in it, including this rare giant guinea pig, so you don't have to go traipsing about anywhere. Where's he got this private zoo? His fucking back garden, that's where. So name the animal. A chimpanzee. And why have you chosen a chimpanzee? I would have thought it was obvious why. Humans and chimpanzees share something like 96% of the same DNA. Chimps are practically people. Oh, they're vicious, mind. You try it on with a chimpanzee and he's liable to rip your head off. He is liable to rip my head off. I'm not having sex with a boy chimpanzee, fuck that. Well, that's a bit homophobic, is it not? I do not have a homophobic bone in my entire body, but the fact is, I'm not gay. If I was gay, then of course I would have sex with a boy chimpanzee. I would jump at the chance. Well, you first have to establish that the boy chimpanzee was also gay. That goes without saying, but the fact of the matter is, I am not gay, and therefore it would have to be a girl chimpanzee, not a boy chimpanzee. That is where I draw the line. Now it's your turn and you've got the gun pointed at you. Name the animal. Right, so what's the backstory? Who's got the gun pointed at me? And you can't just recycle the same story I've just used. Okay, right, let's think now. Fuck it, I can't be arsed. It's just somebody, right? So name the animal. That's hardly fair after all the mental energy I just expended. Just name the fucking animal. A golden retriever. A golden retriever? They're beautiful golden retrievers. They've got a nice, even temperament, they don't bite, and they've got a lovely, silky, shiny coat. A golden retriever? Yes, a golden retriever. What are you looking at me like that for? I had a golden retriever. Did you? Yes, as well you know. Oh aye, come to think about it, so you did. What was his name again? Goldie. Aye, Goldie, I remember now. Goldie, you were always coming out to my bit on Saturday afternoons when we were kids to play Subbuteo, and there would be Goldie lying on the rug in front of the fire. So? Do I need to spell it out? They're beautiful golden retrievers. They've got a nice, even temperament, they don't bite, and they've got a lovely, shiny, silky coat. Those were your words. Hang on, just you wait a fucking minute. Do you honestly think... The innocent Goldie lying there on the rug, completely unaware that sitting only a few feet away from her was a vile sexual deviant. The golden retriever was just the first fucking animal that popped into my head. I wasn't thinking about Goldie. Sexual deviant harbouring in his fetid, bestial black heart. I shudder to think what kind of unnatural, perverted carnal desires. You want to talk? You were going to fuck a chimpanzee. Don't change the subject. That's it, I'm not talking to you anymore. I've had enough. Fine by me, I'm scun at listening to your pish day in, day out. Likewise, I'm scun at listening to your crap day in, day out, so fine by me too. We're both happy. Good. Goldie. You called your golden retriever Goldie? Aye. Goldie. I certainly racked my brains to come up with that one. This is the life, eh? Aye. This is the life. And so they wait and wait and wait, Jake and Eddie, minute after minute, day after day, year after year. And then there should chance upon Jake and Eddie's small corner of purgatory a very old man. His name is Hugo, and he is carrying a deck chair. How extraordinary! Picture the scene. There I was, in my own home, sitting in my favourite armchair, when there suddenly came upon me the most all-encompassing sensation of utter physical debilitation and absolute mental fatigue. My eyelids felt as if they had heavy lead weights attached to them, and every ounce of strength completely drained from my body. I struggled for breath. My two beautiful girls were there also, looking down upon me with expressions of profound distress and concern etched upon their lovely faces.
"Oh, Daddy, Daddy, don't leave us! Daddy, don't leave us, please!" But then their faces became like faint shadows, and their voices faded away to a faraway echo. Then they were gone. Now, instead of my favourite armchair, I found myself sitting on a bus. At least I think it was a bus. I rarely use public transport. I looked around me and saw that I was the sole occupant of the vehicle. Also, somewhat alarmingly, the bus didn't seem to be commandeered by what I believe is called a bus driver. The bus was speeding at enormous velocity through a long black tunnel towards a distant point of light. Closer and closer came the light, but just before the bus was enveloped in its temptingly embracing luminescence, it swerved slightly down and to the left. After a short while, the bus came to a halt and I disembarked. We had arrived at some colossally proportioned outdoor concourse stretching as far as the eye could see. There were other buses there too, thousands upon thousands of them like mine, newly arrived, and out of them a host of other people were, like me, also disembarking. At this moment, an immensely tall, ominous-looking, wraith-like figure came towards me, attired in a dark hooded robe, and carrying in his right hand what appeared to be some kind of long wooden farming implement. He raised his other hand and beckoned me, thus. I then heard him speak. No, on second thoughts, I did not hear him speak. Rather, his voice somehow entered my mind. We were, in a very real sense, locked in telepathic communion, and the voice said, in tones sonorous, authoritative, and yet strangely reassuring, these words, "Follow me." And so I followed him. We walked for I don't know how long a time, the mysterious hooded figure leading the way, I following acquiescently behind, and then suddenly the mysterious hooded figure disappeared. One instant he was there, the next he had vanished into thin air. What seemed corporal melted as breath into the wind. I stood, astounded, perplexed, and, to be frank, somewhat frightened by this unexpected development, for now I was completely alone, a stranger in a strange land. I then felt the light tap of a bony index finger on my left shoulder. I turned round to see whose hand the skeletal digit might belong to, whereupon, amazement upon amazement, I saw standing there, and now behind me, the mysterious hooded figure. How extraordinary! Now, instead of the long wooden farming implement, he was holding in his right hand what appeared to be some item of beach furniture, which he then proceeded to transfer over to my safekeeping. And then, placing his other hand lightly on my chest, he gave me a gentle push, propelling me backwards, and then, just as before, he promptly dematerialized. And then, when I turned around, there you were, you two chaps. And here am I. Hello. I'll try that again, shall I? Hello. Don't you speak English? Is that what's wrong with you?
Are you real?
I beg your pardon?
Are you real?
What an odd question. Yes, as far as I can ascertain. Well, we seem to have reached a bit of a conversational impasse, so if you don't mind, I'll just toddle along.
I'm sorry, but we haven't seen anybody else for an awfully long time. We're both a wee bit, stunned.
I see. I can tell by your accents that you're Scottish, so you do speak English, after all, sort of. That was a joke. You've been here a long time, you say. How long?
Years. A lot of years. Decades. A lot of decades, but we don't know exactly how many. Time is kind of difficult to measure here.
And where precisely is here?
You don't know?
No.
But you do know you're dead, don't you?
Dead?
Yes, dead. Like us. We're dead, too. It's why we're here.
Dead? Dead? Do you mean this is heaven?
No, this is purgatory, which is slightly down from heaven and to the left.
Oh, bugger. Purgatory. Oh, well, could be worse. A lot worse. Well, I suppose introductions are in order. My name's Hugo.
Hello, Hugo. I'm Jake.
I'm Eddie.
We would shake hands, but we can't.
But you've got hands. I can see them clearly. Are you paralysed?
Physical contact in purgatory is impossible.
Is this some local prohibition? Is physical contact in purgatory taboo?
We're ghosts. If we tried to shake hands, they'd just pass right through each other.
I see. I really think I ought to sit down. This whole carry-on has been the most terrible shock to the system. How does this bloody thing work?
Here, let me help you with that.
Thanks.
There, that's it.
Right, I'll just plonk myself down in the middle here.
So, Hugo, I wonder what brought you here.
I just told you, didn't I? It was a bus.
Jake doesn't mean what brought you here, literally. No, what is God's plan in bringing you here?
God's plan? Well, I hate to disappoint, but I haven't the faintest idea what that might be. Maybe he just thought you lads needed a spot of company.
There's your answer, Jake. There's God's plan.
I say, is there somewhere around here where a chap can get a bite to eat? A restaurant, a cafe? I know it seems odd, what with me being a ghost now, but I've suddenly come over rather frightfully peckish.
Are you thirsty as well?
Am I thirsty? Well, now you come to mention it, yes, I am. It's not a raging thirst by any means. It's not like I've been crawling on my hands and knees through the Gobi Desert for the last fortnight. But I definitely could go a nice long drink right now. A Campari and soda in a tall chilled glass, ice and slice, would unquestionably hit the spot at this precise moment. Let's go find a pub, shall we? One that does grub, too. I'm the new boy, so it'll be my treat. Right. Well, shall we?
There's nothing to eat, and there's nothing to drink.
What?
There's no restaurants or cafes.
None anywhere?
Nope.
But if there's nothing to eat and drink, then how can we survive? We'll...
Well, what, Hugo? Go on, say it. Well, what?
Well, we obviously won't die, but...
You're hungry and thirsty as well, Hugo. It's just the way things are in this place.
You'll just have to get used to it. But this is inhumane. It's torture. No, this can't be right. There must be somewhere around here to get some food and drink, and I'm going to damn well find it.
Go ahead, Hugo. Knock yourself out.
Right, I'm going this way. Now, when I find food and drink, I'll come straight back here, so don't move. I won't be long. I'm a very fast walker. Oh, I must have taken a wrong turning. I'll go back the other way. Oh, blast! I must have taken another wrong turn. Never mind, one more go.
It doesn't matter which direction you walk in, Hugo, you always end up back here.
What?
We're stuck in our own wee corner of purgatory.
Uh-oh. Something's wrong. Something's terribly wrong.
You're desperately wanting to take a piss now, aren't you?
Yes, I'm in urgent need. Where's the bog?
There isn't one.
I'm not proud. I'll go behind this tree. Oh, come on. Oh, for God's sake, I know I've got a dodgy prostate, but this is ridiculous. Oh, not a drop. Nothing. Bugger all. This is how I'm going to feel from now on. All the time hungry and thirsty and in dire need of the lavatory.
Yup. Purgatory is the perpetual torment of petty irritations. We're here to suffer for our sins.
No, please let me wake up and find out that this is all a horrible dream.
Oh, which reminds me, you can't sleep either. You can close your eyes, but you'll never nod off.
Are you absolutely certain this is purgatory? Couldn't this be the other place?
Oh, this is definitely purgatory.
What makes you so sure?
Because no one ever gets to leave the other place.
What do you mean?
Buses don't just arrive here, Hugo. They also depart, taking people with them.
Taking them where exactly?
The buses take people slightly up the way and to the right.
Up the way and to the front. Oh,
You mean they go to heaven?
Yes! It's the one thing that makes all this bearable, Hugo, knowing that it's not going to last forever and that one day we're going to leave for a better place. We're just waiting for the bus.
How do you fill up the time?
When we first got here, we played I Spy for about 5 years. Then it got a bit boring. We've mainly been filling up the rest of the time by blethering absolute shite. But now you're here, Hugo. You're our saviour. You can rescue us from this tsunami of verbal diarrhea that's been engulfing us for so long.
Well, how do you expect me to do that?
You can start by telling us all about the stuff that's been going on back home while us two have been stuck here.
You're right. I could do that. That will fill up quite a bit of time. I mean, an absolute ton of things have been happening back home.
And we want to hear everything, Hugo. Don't miss out a thing.
And it'll also have the beneficial side effect of taking my mind off my current unfortunate predicament vis-à-vis the parched larynx, the rumbling tummy, and the misfiring waterworks. What a terrific idea! Right, let's make a start.
Before we do, Hugo, a wee word to the wise. We found that it's best to avoid talking about stuff that's too personal. It's a recipe for disaster. As soon as you start getting into all that loved ones I have left behind carry on, before you know it, you're feeling as maudlin as fuck and you're ready to slit your wrists. So at all costs, avoid.
Point taken, Eddie, and thanks for the heads up. Right, what do you want me to tell you first?
What's been happening in the world of sport? Specifically, the Fitbar.
The Fitbar? Oh, you mean soccer?
Aye.
Well, I hate to tell you this, but soccer, Fitbar, is not my strong point. Rugby, cricket, are you aficionados of the oval ball and the old leather on willow?
Nope, no really.
That's a relief, because I don't know anything about them either. So what other sports do we have? Golf, tennis, volleyball, water polo, bobsleigh, synchronized swimming. Do I know anything about any of them? Let's think. No, sorry, I'm drawing a complete blank. Oh, wait a minute, though. Wait a minute. There is one sport of which I do have an encyclopedic knowledge, even though I do say so myself, and that sport is equestrian 3-day eventing. So ask away. What ya wanna know? Ha ha ha.
I think we'll leave that one for a rainy day, Hugo.
Oh, does it rain in purgatory?
No, never. Okay, so that's sport covered, sort of. So what's next? Politics. British politics. Aye, but no just that. Everything else that's been going on in the world.
Oh, you want the big picture, do you? The entire enchilada. Okay, I'll deal with the British politics first. It's been the same old, really. One lot got voted out, the other lot got voted in, repeat ad infinitum. Not that I ever voted, actually. I mean, what's the point, eh? Politicians, they're all the bloody same. As for what's been happening in the rest of the world, let's think. Oh, come on, Hugo, something must have happened. Oh yes! There was this thing that blew up between the Russians and the Americans.
What happened?
It all started with an argument about cucumbers. At least I think it was about cucumbers. Was it about cucumbers? Or am I confusing it with something else? I tend to mix things up sometimes.
So was there a war?
A war? Oh, come on. I mean, really. I would have noticed if there had been a war between Russia and America. At least I think I would have noticed. Anyway, whatever it was, it can't have been that important. Now, what else happened? What else? Oh yes! Now this definitely did happen, and very exciting it was too. The Chinese put a man on Mars.
Wow!
Or was it a panda? Actually, yes, it may have been a panda. Or was it a man? It was one of the two anyway. So what else? No, that's it.
I think congratulations are in order, Hugo. You've managed to bring to the table a completely new variety of absolute shite.
What's going on?
The bus is leaving.
Oh, I see.
Shh!
Would the following please make their way to the Ascension Lounge for immediate departure? Jean-Luc Baudouin, Heinrich Dieter Altenhofen, Shamira Al-Hamdani, Hoshimi Akamatsu, Ivan Yanukovych, and Paula Yates. Thank you.
Hang on, there were only about half a dozen names on that list.
Folks might arrive here in their thousands and thousands, but they leave in their dribs and drabs.
Which means we're going to be waiting for that bus for a long, long time yet.
Still, it's nice for Paula Yates.
I'm fucking delighted for her.
Well, she's been here a lot longer than us. It'll be a happy end to a tragic love story if Paula and Michael Hutchins can be finally reunited in heaven.
What's Michael Hutchins doing in heaven? He was killed performing an act of autoerotic asphyxiation. He literally wanked himself to death. So he's hardly a likely candidate.
No matter, he was the love of Paula Yates's life. And as the Bible says, he who is truly loved on earth shall find redemption in heaven. For to love and be loved in return is the greatest love of all.
Oh, that would have been the gospel according to Whitney Houston. So what happens when Bob Geldof eventually arrives in the scene? How's that awkward little ménage à trois going to pan out?
Everything will be just fine.
How?
Because God shall will it so.
Well, that's your answer to fucking everything.
God shall will it so. In heaven, there's no jealousy or possessiveness or any of the other base human emotions. Everyone lives in a permanent state of God-given bliss.
You always were a wee creeping Jesus ever since you got made an altar boy, but you've got 100 times worse since you've died. Everybody lives in a state of God-given bliss. Merely everybody's walking about the place like drugged up zombies. As soon as you get to heaven, you check your brain in at the pearly gates, is that it? Christ, it sounds worse than this fucking shithole. In fact, I think I might just give the bus a miss when it comes round and just stay put.
You'll change your tune about heaven when you come face to face with your maker.
Oh aye, and who's to say he really exists?
You're not telling me that you're actually questioning the existence of God, are you?
Where's the proof? I don't see any.
We've died and gone to purgatory. We are at this very moment experiencing the afterlife, and you're saying that this doesn't offer any evidence that there's a God?
All this, life, death, all human experience, what we like to call in our ignorance reality, could all just be an illusion.
Oh no, here we go again. I walked right into that one. Your fucking permanent obsession. The Matrix.
Okay, the sequels were pretty fucking duff, but the central premise is still valid. Who's to say that what we're experiencing right now is no some elaborate computer program?
Aye, but who designed it, eh? Who created this program?
Aliens.
But that doesn't rule out God.
Aye, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Aye, it does.
No, it doesn't. Because who created these aliens?
Another bunch of fucking aliens.
So if everything is an illusion, does that include us?
Obviously it does. We're ghosts, for fuck's sake. In fact, this conversation we're having right now is not actually taking place at all.
How the fuck do you work that out?
Because, as I just fucking said, Deefy, we're ghosts.
Okay,
we're ghosts, so what? When you're engaging in conversation, you're expressing your thoughts, right? Now, in order to have thoughts, you need to have tiny electrical impulses stimulating the synapses in your brain. But we're ghosts, non-corporeal entities. And non-corporeal means you didn't have a body. So it follows that if you didn't have a body, then you can't have any internal organs to go with it. No liver, no kidneys, no heart, no lungs, and no brain. And without a brain, you can't be generating any thoughts. And without any thoughts to express, you can't be engaging in conversation. Which proves ipso fucking facto that we are not having this conversation right now.
So you're telling me, right, that cause I've got no brain, I'm not actually thinking anything right now?
Correct.
Then how come I'm thinking right now that you're talking out a hole in your ass?
But you're not thinking that. You only think you're thinking it.
I'm not thinking that I'm thinking it. I know that I'm thinking it.
No, you're thinking that you know that you're thinking it.
But if I'm thinking that I know that I'm thinking it, it still means that I'm thinking it.
No, it means that you're thinking that you're thinking that you're thinking it.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Hugo. What do you think?
Aye, Hugo, what do you think?
I think it was actually two pandas, a male and a female. They were having trouble breeding in the zoo, so the Chinese sent them into outer space to see if that would do the trick. Or something like that.
On second thoughts, let's no wait for that rainy day that will never come, Hugo. Tell us all about equestrian 3-day eventing.
Are you sure? You really want to hear all about equestrian 3-day eventing? Really? You're not pulling my leg?
No, we're not pulling your leg. So avail us of your encyclopedic knowledge of equestrian 3-day eventing, Hugo. The entire enchilada. And take as much time as you like.
Okay, equestrian 3-day eventing. Prepare to be enthralled.
And so Hugo proceeds to enthrall Jake and Eddie with all the wonderful and exciting things that have been happening in the world of equestrian 3-day eventing. And as the years in purgatory roll on and on and on, Eddie, Jake and Hugo talk, laugh, argue and blether absolute shite, while the roll call of the redeemed rolls on and on and on.
Would the following please make their way to the Ascension Lounge? Would the following please make their way to the Ascension Lounge? Would the following please make their way to the Ascension Lounge for immediate departure?
And still the years roll on and on and on, until Eddie, Jake and Hugo eventually fall silent. And the silence lasts for a long, long, long time. We've been sitting here like this, no saying anything and staring into the middle distance for about 150 years. Literally 150 years. Isn't it about time we did something? I know, let's play charades. Once upon a time, long, long ago, we played charades, and it's every bit as stupid and boring playing charades when you're dead as it is when you're alive. So we're never ever again playing fucking charades. Here's something we've never done before. Let's pretend it's Christmas. Look, we've got a tree. Why the fuck would we want to pretend it's Christmas? 'Cause it would be fucking fun, that's why. We can start by decorating the Christmas tree with pretend decorations. We can sing carols, and then we can open our pretend presents and sit down for our pretend Christmas dinner. I've got a better idea. Let's just pretend we've done all that, and now we're flaked out on the sofa watching The Great Escape. And nobody talks.
I think I'll take a little turn around the grounds. God rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. I say, Jake, you've done a splendid job decorating the tree.
Thank you, Hugo. See, Eddie, Hugo's entering into the festive spirit of Christmas. That's because Hugo is a fucking half-wit.
I'll thank you, Edward, to show a little bit more respect for your elders and betters, you fucking oik. The tree looks very jolly with all the tinsel and baubles and the chocolate novelties. Oh look, there on the toppermost branch is the fairy. Every little girl would like to be the fairy on the Christmas tree. Yes, the tree is looking very jolly indeed.
Do you know what that tree really is, Hugo?
What do you mean? It's just a tree.
It's a special tree.
Is it?
Yes. Are you religious, Hugo?
Well, I'm Church of England, so I suppose I must be. Why do you ask?
Because this tree is in fact the tree of knowledge for the Garden of Eden. You know about the Garden of Eden, don't you?
I vaguely recall the school chaplain touching on the subject once, so what's it doing here?
It's here as a constant reminder to us that we are sinners.
Oh, I see.
This tree is not just growing here. This exact same tree grows in every corner of purgatory. The tree of knowledge is omnipresent, like God. Satan, in the guise of a snake, hid in the branches of this tree and tempted Eve with the apple.
So Satan disguised himself as a talking snake, did he? Oh, a bit like that one in the Jungle Book, the one with the lisp. Twath in me, twath in me. Hang on, though. How could he have offered Eve the apple? Snakes don't have hands. Maybe sort of indicated towards it with his head. Eve, look, there's this lovely white apple hanging on the tree. It's a golden delicious. Or maybe it's a Granny Smith. I don't think Satan thought this one through at all well. Must do better. That's what I would have written in young Master Satan's end-of-term report card. He should have disguised himself as a parrot. At least they've got properly functioning vocal cords, parrots. And as a further advantage, he could have held the apple in one of his claws.
Why do they show The Great Escape every Christmas? Everyone gets shot at the end. Which reminds me, the Ceausescus were executed by firing squad on Christmas Day.
Were they really? Well, I didn't know that. So who were they?
The Ceausescus were the husband and wife who ruled communist Romania. They were like Lord and Lady Macbeth.
Scottish, were they?
They were Romanian. They were evil dictators, and right now they'll be in the place that no one gets out of, receiving the full red-hot poker treatment.
Jake, you seem to be a bit of an expert on this life-after-death malarkey. So what exactly are the entrance requirements for that place, you know, down there, the name of which we dare not mention?
Well, basically, to get into the place we dare not mention, you have to have done something really, really bad when you were alive.
But there's plenty of people in this place who did bad things when they were alive, so why aren't they down there?
That's because they felt remorse for the bad things that they did in life.
I see. Remorse. Interesting. On a lighter note, did you know that on this very day, many, many yonks ago, way back in the mists of time, Christmas Island was discovered? Hence the name, Christmas Island.
Who discovered it?
Oh, I don't know. Captain Cook, probably. He was always discovering things. He discovered bananas. Or was that Sir Walter Raleigh? And it might have been pineapples. Or was it bamboo? I just thought of something. It's a good job Captain Cook discovered Christmas Island on the 25th of December and not on the 31st of October. Otherwise the place would have been called Halloween Island.
Yeah.
It sounds like the sort of place that Scooby-Doo and his chums might have fetched up at.
All the time it was the old caretaker at the haunted fun fair who was scaring away the tourists. Yoinks!
Yoinks!
I would have got away with it if it wasn't for those pesky kids.
Oh, Shaggy! Halloween Island, you spooky.
Right, that's it. It's coming up to my favourite bit. The bit where Gordon Jackson's getting on the bus and the Gestapo guy says good luck, and Gordon Jackson, the stupid bastard, says thank you, so I'd thank you two to shut the fuck up and let me watch The Great Escape in fucking peace.
All right, there's no need to lose the rag, Grumpy Draws.
Grumpy Draws. Oh Christ, that's all we fucking need.
Would the following please make their way to the Ascension Lounge for immediate departure?
Yeah, get on with it and then give us some peace. Fucking Adolf Hitler would get out of this place quicker than us.
Ezra Berenbaum, Amrapali Chandrasekaran, Marvin J. Weinberger, Leonora Constanza Prudencia Yolanda Raquel de la Vega, James Kieran O'Reilly, and Edward Daniel McBride. Thank you.
I wish you hadn't mentioned how this film ends, Jake. I've never seen it before. You've totally ruined it for me. I say, are you two all right? You both look as if you've seen a ghost. Get it? Just seen a ghost. Hang on. What is the matter with you? You've both gone as white as a sheet.
Your names have just been called.
What?
James Kieran O'Reilly and Edward Daniel McBride. Those are our names. They've just been called. What are we waiting for, Eddie? Come on. Let's go. You're right. Let's go. Here, hold on a minute. Hold on. What's wrong? Why have both our names been called at the same time? You're going to be left on your own, Hugo.
My dear Eddie, I've always known the day would come when I would be left on my own. If you left separately, then that would only be delaying the inevitable, don't you see? Besides, isn't both of you leaving at the same time rather fitting? You did, after all, arrive here together.
Should we take the deck chairs? Why would we want to take the deck chairs? They might want them returned.
Leave them. I'll keep myself amused by playing one-man musical chairs. That will occupy my time wonderfully. I suppose that all that's left to do now is say goodbye.
But it's no goodbye, Hugo. We'll be meeting up again someday. Aye, when it's your turn to catch the bus.
That's very true. So instead, let us say au revoir. But before we do, I've prepared a short speech just for this occasion. I've been going over it in my head for, ever such a long time, so I hope I don't fluff my lines. Well, here goes. When we three were alive, our paths would, in all probability, never have crossed. But I shall be forever grateful that our paths have crossed in death. Because, Eddie, Jake, You are the two best pals a fellow could ever have, dead or alive. In fact, it's only after I've died that I've discovered the meaning of true friendship. Although, Jake, sometimes you can be a little sanctimonious.
No.
Aye, are. And you can be a bit cross sometimes, Eddie.
That's me. Old grumpy draws. And you're a silly old sod all the time.
Guilty as charged. At this point in proceedings, I suppose there should be manly hugs all round, but as that is, of course, impossible, I shall send you on your way with a quotation from Shakespeare. Stand not upon the order of your going, but go at once. Well, what are you waiting for? You heard me. Bugger off.
See you later, Hugo. Aye, Hugo. See you later. There's one thing that'll help you, Hugo, whenever you're feeling lonely and depressed. Always treasure in your heart the knowledge that one day you'll be reunited with your family and loved ones.
Christ, I hope not. My mother was a negligent drunk, and as for my father, his lordship, he wanted nothing to do with me from the very first second I was born. As soon as I was old enough, I was packed off to boarding school. The only loved ones I had were the family dog and my pet pony. I'll be pleased to see them again in the sweet hereafter, but as for the others, well, they can rot in you-know-where for all I care.
But what about your daughters?
My daughters? What on earth are you talking about? I don't have any daughters.
Daddy, don't leave us, please. You were sitting in your favourite armchair and that's what your daughters were saying as you were slipping away. You told us all about this ages ago when you first got here. Your beautiful girls, you called them.
They weren't my daughters. They were a couple of prostitutes.
Prostitutes?
Irma and Veronica. They were from the Czech Republic. Lovely girls. I was their eldest and most valued customer, hence the affectionate sobriquet, Daddy. Oh, I sense that the pair of you are regarding me in something of a new light, so I may as well come clean. I dare say that all along you've been labouring under the impression that I'm an amiable old duffer who led a fairly blameless, non-eventful life, and then shuffled off the old mortal coil peacefully in the bosom of the family hearth, surrounded by my adoring nearest and dearest, with flights of angels singing me to my rest, and so forth. Well, I was at home, yes, that much is true, but it was actually a drug overdose which was the cause of my unfortunate demise. A massive quantity of heroin, cocaine, crystal meth, ecstasy, and Viagra. Though, in retrospect, it could have been that dry sherry I had before supper that tipped me over the edge. Anyway, my best guess is that I choked to death on my own vomit. You see, when I was alive, I was a complete moral degenerate. I made the Marquis de Sade look like Cliff Richard. I'm amazed I made it to the age I did. I didn't start off with the intention of being an alcoholic, drug-addicted sex maniac, but an incident in my youth when I was a student at St. Andrews University left me with such an overbearing sense of personal guilt and shame that I proceeded to spend the rest of my life trying to blot out the memory of it with every quick fix that I could get my grubby paws on. I remember it like it was yesterday, the 15th of September 2019. I was studying for a degree in art history. God, what a bloody stupid waste of time that was. When I was involved in a fatal car accident on the A91 in which 2 men died. It was a ghastly business. Oh, but that's enough chit-chat. You two have a bus to catch.
A fatal car accident on the A91 on the 15th of September 2019 in which 2 men died?
Yes.
It's just a coincidence, Eddie. It has to be.
This is a call for James Kieran O'Reilly and Edward Daniel McBride. Please proceed forthwith to the Ascension Lounge for immediate departure. Thank you.
Tell us about this fatal car accident on the A91 on the 15th of September 2019 in which 2 men died.
We don't have time for that.
Just tell us.
All right, keep your shirt on. It was a Sunday night, and I got absolutely shit-faced, as usual. Anyway, I stupidly got into my car at the end of the evening and drove home. I was renting a cottage down the end of a lane just off the A91 to Dundee. I was going too fast, and whilst I was fumbling in my pocket for my cigarette lighter, I failed to notice a car chugging along the road in front, and I rammed into the back of it. I was driving a Volvo, which was built like a fucking Panzer tank, so this unfortunate jalopy just bounced off it and went flying off the road, ending up on its back. Needless to say, this had the effect of immediately sobering me up, so I got out of the car to survey the damage. The Volvo hadn't got a scratch on it, but the other one was a complete write-off, and whoever had been in it was quite obviously beyond help. There were no other cars on the road, so I got back in mine and then drove hell for leather all through the night back to the family estate. To cut a long story short, I got rid of the Volvo and resigned from my degree course. As there were no witnesses to the accident, plus, luckily for me, the speed camera on that stretch of the road wasn't functioning because it had been vandalised the week before, I got away with it, scot-free. I later discovered that 2 men had been in the car from Kilmarnock, apparently, up for a weekend break, playing golf. I never found out their names, nor would I ever want to. To know their names would somehow have made the enormity of my crime even more real. So there you have it, my mea culpa. So now you please get your skates on and go!
You fucking bastard.
Oh, believe me, I've called myself worse. It was a terrible thing that I did.
You cock-sucking fuck-faced spunk bag.
All right, there's no need to go overboard with the indignation. It's not as if it was you that was in the car. What are you looking at me like that for?
Hugo, me and Eddie were involved in a fatal car accident on the A91.
You were involved in a fatal car accident on the A91 as well? How extraordinary! What are the chances, eh?
Did you by any chance notice what make of car it was that you rammed into the back of that night?
It was so mangled it could have been anything, but I do remember it was red.
It was a red Vauxhall Nova.
How do you know it was a Vauxhall Nova?
It seems our paths did cross after all, Hugo, because, you see, the fatal car accident that me and Eddie here were involved in, and the fatal car accident that you were involved in, was, I hate to say this,
the exact same fucking fatal car accident.
The same fatal car accident? But that would mean that you two are the 2 men that I killed.
And now you know our names. So does that make everything real enough for you? This is the last call for James Kieran O'Reilly and Edward Daniel McBride. You are urged to proceed without any further delay to the Ascension Lounge for immediate departure. Repeat, without any further delay. Thank you.
It all makes so much sense. All this time and I never put 2 and 2 together. I really am the most dreadful chump.
Right, let's get the fuck out of here.
Hang on, Eddie, not so fast.
What's so fast? Are you fucking deaf? Did you no hear that announcement?
There's something we can't leave here without.
We're not taking the fucking deck chairs.
If you'd let me finish. We can't leave here without granting Hugo our forgiveness.
What? You want to forgive him?
Yes.
Are you out of your tiny fucking mind? This old fucker killed us.
He was young at the time and he made a mistake, which ruined his life.
Oh, no half as much as you ruined yours.
But we have to forgive Hugo. Don't you see that it's the reason the 3 of us were brought together? All along, it's been God's plan for us to forgive Hugo. We must emulate Jesus Christ our Lord, who, when he was on the cross at Calvary, forgave the penitent thief.
And had the penitent thief rammed a fucking Panzer tank into the back of our Lord Jesus Christ's red Vauxhall Nova. But you know what? Fuck it. If it makes you happy, let's do it. Let's forgive him.
Look, chaps, you really don't have to.
But we do have to. Don't you see, Hugo? It's all part of God's plan. Right, Jake, you go first.
Okay, Hugo. Te absolvo.
Is that it?
Yes.
Well, thanks.
Eddie?
Okay. I had a family, Hugo. I was in the prime of life. The best years were yet to come, but it was all snuffed out. Because one night you climbed into the driver's seat of your car fucking drunk. And for that reason, you can forget about ever getting a te absolvo frae me. Sorry, Jake, for no being a saint. This is definitely the final, repeat, final call for James Kieran O'Reilly and Edward Daniel McBride. Alright, we're fucking coming.
I'm so sorry, Hugo.
Don't be, Jake. I can't forgive myself, so why should I expect anyone else to?
Goodbye, Hugo.
Goodbye, Jake. They've gone. Oh, God. I am such a stupid, stupid old fool. Why have I never noticed until now how truly terrible this place is? And it might as well be hell, because hell couldn't be any worse.
Hugo. Hugo. Hugo!
Jake, what are you doing back here?
Hello, Hugo.
Eddie? I don't understand.
It was a close call, but we made it. We caught the bus. We took our seats, but just as it was about to drive away, Eddie turned to me and said, "We have to go back." Then I said, "But we're on the bus, we can't go back." And then he said, "But we have to go back. Without my forgiveness, the circle will never be closed. God's plan will never be fulfilled, and the burden of Hugo's guilt will never be lifted, which means he'll never be redeemed, and he'll be condemned to spend eternity in purgatory." So we've come back.
You missed the bus, didn't you?
What? No, it's like I tell you.
Of course we missed the fucking bus. The bus was right there. We could see it when we were running and we were yelling, "That's our bus, don't go, that's our bus." And then the doors closed and it drove away. And that was it. It was gone. There was this crabbit-faced old bastard there wearing a stagecoach ticket inspector's uniform. He looks at his clipboard and then he says to us,
"Are you to James Kieran O'Reilly and Edward Daniel McBride?"
we says aye, and
He says, "Well, you should have been here 10 minutes ago."
It's not the end of the world. You can get the next bus.
"No, we can't. The crabbit old bastard told us that we'd have to wait for our turn to come round again, which means that we're going to be stuck here for a virtual eternity for a second time." Why did you have to bring up all that personal stuff, Jake? We were practically out the fucking door.
What are you talking about?
All that shite you said to Hugo about being reunited with his family and loved ones, that's what started him off. If you'd kept your fucking big mouth shut, we'd be in heaven right now. I'd be eating a fish supper and drinking a can of iron brew.
What are you so upset about now? You said yourself that everything is just an illusion.
Maybe I did, but if I'm going to exist for all time in a waking dream, I'd prefer it to be one as a running buffet. But more important than that, right now I'd be taking a fucking piss. Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm so desperate for a piss.
Look at it this way, though. Maybe us missing the bus is also a part of God's plan.
Jake, if you mention God's plan one mere fucking time, I am going to kill you.
Ah, but I'm already dead.
I don't care. I will still kill you. I will find a way.
On a more positive note, Eddie, you left the deck chairs, so you'll have somewhere to sit.
Yes, Hugo, that's very true. We'll have somewhere to sit. You said you had a pony, Hugo. What was its name?
Trot.
Trot.
Yes, Trot. I'd had him since I was a small child. I could ride before I could walk. I was always at my happiest on the back of a horse, which explains my lifelong passion for equestrian 3-day eventing,
a subject about which we have not heard nearly enough.
I also had a dog, which I think I mentioned, a Dalmatian,
called Spot, by any chance?
How did you guess?
I had a dog. A golden retriever. Her name was Goldie. I was looking forward to seeing her again. She had a lovely temperament and a beautiful, shiny, silky coat. Jake wanted to have sex with her.
Fuck off.
I spy with my little eyes something beginning with D.
Deck chairs.
Correct, your turn.
I spy with my little eyes something beginning with T.
Tree.
Correct, your turn.
I spy with my little eye something beginning with...
Vote the following, please make their way to the Ascension Lounge. Vote the following, please make their way to the Ascension Lounge. Vote the following, vote the following, please make their way to the Ascension Lounge. Vote the following, vote the following, please make their way to the Ascension Lounge. Vote the following, vote the following, please make their way to the Ascension Lounge for immediate departure. Vote the following, please make their way to the Ascension Lounge for immediate departure. Vote the following, please make their way to the Ascension Lounge for immediate departure.
Slightly Down and to the Left was written and performed by Paul Francis Matthews. All characters are fictitious, and any similarities to persons dead or alive or the product of some geeky teenage space aliens garage experiment are purely coincidental. The music you are hearing is sampled from Roll Bus Roll by Jeffrey Lewis and the Junkyard, and absolutely no copyright infringement is intended. So please don't get angry and sue me, Jeffrey, though I've seen you being interviewed on YouTube and you seem to be a nice laid-back sort of bloke. If you like Slightly Down and to the Left, then please check out my podcast, The Heretics Forfeit. That's The Heretics Forfeit. And to find it, just check into your friendly local internet. And finally, thanks to Gowan for being my wife, Leon for being my son, Stan for being my dog, Betty for being my cat, and you, dear listener, for being the audience.